One day, Marcus Steyer woke up on the continent of Chroma. The place of his awakening was somewhere between the kingdom of Sanctivale and the kingdom of Rubrum. He was also dangerously close to the place referred to as the Demon's Domain, the town of Dexlar. Marcus was a large man, towering over the average human on Chroma. His broad shoulders barely fit in the spot he woke up in, but that could be because when he came to on this day, he was leaning against a wall in the crevice on the side of a church. He was known to partake in one too many behemoth ales in his time, but this felt strange and different. How did he get to this place? Was it a church that was still active, or did the people of Sanctivale abandon it? How long had he been asleep here, and why did no one discover him? As these questions danced around in his head, Marcus noticed that he was blocked in by a bunch of shrubbery. Vines, plants, and even a few flowers surrounded him, and it looked as if the plant life was starting to grow around him, a discovery that made him believe he was there for a very, very long time. How could this be possible, he thought. Marcus recalled what little he could remember from when he was last awake. He knew he was a mercenary, but he could not remember a single client's name, nor could he remember any of his jobs. As a matter of fact, he could only remember the fact that he was a mercenary, and nothing else outside of his occupation. Understanding he wouldn't find answers stuck inside this crevice, Marcus ripped the vines off of himself, and ripped the ones blocking his exit before stepping out into the midday sun. Not entirely in Rubrum, so it wasn't as hot as he expected it to be, but the sun was beating on him, and he could feel sweat forming on his forehead already. He pushed his shaggy black hair back, wondering if sleeping in the shade among flowers was enough to keep him from smelling bad. He gave one of his underarms a sniff and shrugged, deeming himself not too smelly as he made his way into the church. To his surprise, he heard some voices. "They are going to attack the psych ward," one of the voices said, concerned. Marcus could hear the person they were talking to sigh. "I know, but what could the two of us possibly do to stop them? We'll just be there to pick up the pieces once the damage is done." Marcus turned the corner to see a short nun speaking with a priest. Marcus was shocked the church was still occupied. "Or," the loud booming voice of Marcus echoed in the empty church and startled the two people talking. Each step he took toward them with his boots was loud as well. "You could send me there to stop them." "And you are?" said the nun. "Marcus. I'm a merc." "We should have known," said the priest. "That large sword on your back gave it away." To be fair, with the massive size of Marcus, he barely felt the greatsword strapped to his back. It had a name, but Marcus couldn't remember. "Wrathforge," the nun said as if she was answering his thoughts. "I've seen that sword before." The priest looked at her, then up at Marcus. "Wait, he's that Marcus the Merc? You know him?" asked the nun. The priest laughed. "Only from stories, but it was said Marcus vanished a long time ago." "I was just on vacation," Marcus lied. "Tell me more about this attack on the psych ward." "That's a long vacation," the priest said somewhat under his breath. "Anyway, this must be divine intervention, because we can definitely use your help. Many of the people we encounter at this church are victims of the town of Dexlar, possessed by demons, changed by demons, mauled by them, and those changed forever by them. These victims have been through enough. The psych ward is helping them get back to normal lives, and these attackers will ruin all of that." Marcus folded his arms. "Point me in the right direction, and I'll take care of them." "We can't pay him," the nun reminded the priest. "He's a mercenary, and he won't do this out of the kindness of his heart." "How about for some food? Some of that wine?" Marcus pointed to a bottle, assuming that's what was inside. "And a place to stay for a few days."